Nothing could prepare me for the first time that I saw him. I tried to research and look at pictures when I was pregnant to prepare myself for what a 27-week baby would look like, but it didn't come close to preparing me. I walked in and I was paralyzed. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know what to say. He was so small that he fit in our hands. My oldest son called him a squirrel. He looked like a squirrel. He had hair all over him. He was shaking and startling constantly. And he had little sunglasses on. And his little head fit in these little sunglasses to protect his eyes from the lights for his jaundice. And I'm just grateful that my husband was there. We wanted to be close to Johnny, and there was fortunately a NICU nurse who had previously worked at Good Shepherd, and she kept saying to other nurses, Johnny should go to Good Shepherd, he should go to Good Shepherd, they would love him there, they would love him.
So when Johnny came to us, he was very fragile. His lungs required some oxygen. He was working harder than what we would expect for a baby. He needed some support with a tube to maintain his nutrition. He was requiring a number of medications to control his medical needs, and he was barely doing anything for a baby his age.
I got to Good Shepherd with Johnny. Johnny was frail and weak, but he wasn't the only one. I was battered and broken as well. And when we got there, his therapist identified it, saw it right away, and they spent hours with me. Not just with Johnny, they spent hours talking to me. His therapist would stay after work and talk to me and explain to me that, you know, these are the things that we're going to go through and this is what's going to happen and this is Johnny. And it wasn't until I got to Good Shepherd that I learned to love Johnny for everything he is and everything he isn't.
Can't ever thank them enough for what they did for, you know, my son and my wife. They helped them both beyond belief, you know, not just, you know, in a medical sense with Johnny, but like a personal growth sense with my wife, and I'm be eternally grateful to them for what they did for her.
One of the reasons we were able to be so successful with Johnny is our integrated team approach, which includes all of our nurses, our therapists, the respiratory staff, the dietitians, and the doctors, and we all work very closely together to figure out what's the best way to handle him, to approach him, in order to honor his medical needs, but to also help him succeed and thrive and reach our rehabilitation goals.
Johnny rose to the occasion, and with the help of his loving parents, he was able to achieve the goals that we put in place for him. So at the time of his discharge, Johnny was eating by himself without the need of a tube. I think that to top it all, he was developing very well. He actually showed a lot of promise with his development. He was playing with us, he was smiling, and whenever I examined him, he was actually, in fact, wanting to come to me and be picked up by me. So he was using his hands and everything with such a joy when he left that. I remember the last exam I did before he was discharged. He wanted me to pick him up. You know, that was a joy, and I could not forget that.
After 147 days, also at Good Shepherd, he came home a different child. He came home weighing 15 pounds, close to 15 pounds, and we can't be happier with what Good Shepherd has done for us. Ow!